Hi, let's understand how do you work with designers and executives as a product manager. Let's start with designers. It's a lot of fun working with designers, to be very honest. The first and foremost, let's understand the roles and responsibilities that product managers and designers own. So, product managers are responsible for prioritization, business modeling, metrics, stakeholder input, project management, scope planning, and what have you. In general, product managers are responsible for the overall success of the product. They share certain responsibilities with designers like user research, wireframing, user flow, user stories, personas, identifying the needs, working with the MVPs, experiments, customer problems, etc., etc. And that is why it is important that you lay out the land very clearly with your designers. That who is going to own what. In certain cases, the designer might be doing the user research. In certain cases, you might be doing the user research. And in certain cases, you have to bond and you have to work together, right? Similarly, designers have some exclusive responsibilities like IA, information architecture, the sitemaps, responsiveness, interaction design, etc., etc. So, setting up a roles and responsibility, laying it out clearly between you and your designers helps in alleviating trust and uh, uh, helps in improving the trust and helps in keeping the things absolutely clear, transparent. So when you're working with um designers, here are the 4 or 5 different rules that I follow, and I would recommend use them. I mean, these are guidelines. Number one, reduce the uh, so here are some of the guidelines that I recommend for working with designers. Number one, reduce the barrier between product and designers. Include them, just like engineers, include them in the problem solving as early as possible. The sooner you do it, the better it will be. Depending on your team's structure and depending on how the team has been conditioned, you might have to work a little extra to change the way and change when designers get involved. At times, designers get involved at the very fag end of the entire problem solving exercise, which I believe is a waste because designers are also problem solvers. And a lot of times they will be able to fast track the entire problem solving exercise because they know the product in and out. They have done their own user research, so they might be able to do some really good uh, work at explaining to you how certain behaviors are being observed and why what can be done to make the changes or to improve the features. So team up, understand that you are part of the same team, and help the designers coming together and talking to the stakeholders in building the right products and right designs. Make sure that you're paying attention and you care about details. Great designers care about details. Okay, speak the language of designers and not analytics, metrics, and data. Okay, UX designers care more about the emotional aspect of your product, so you need to make sure that you are talking the same language and jargons. Start to view design as a hypothesis. That my hypothesis is that the user is going to behave in a certain fashion, and in this moment, because he is in a hurry, the design needs to be very very simple to communicate. Or design should just have a couple of buttons because he's in a he's in a hurry. He just needs a quick taxi or he just needs a quick something, right? So there have to be hypotheses around designs and not completely look and feel. Finally, have a flexible schedule. Okay, the work that designers do sometimes require focus and concentration, and it's a iterative process. So it is important that you ensure that your meetings that you're consistently asking them to meet and this and that does not break their flow, and you're giving them ample time to solve these complex problems. So Chris Butler um, has a fantastic video on how product managers should be working with designers. I'll strongly recommend watching this video. Um, he tackles a lot of very interesting and very pertinent problems about the relationship between product managers and designers and how they can collaborate in a much better way. So, how do you work with executives and others? These are three simple three guidelines. Okay. First of all, validate every idea, no matter how high they come from, before deciding to implement them. You should do your necessary research. You should know your users very well. You should know the problem for which you're building the product. You should know the urgency and priority of these features and themes in user stories. Okay. And you should have a proper valid reason for the prioritization strategy. So no matter who is giving you the product, unless your team and your company has a structure where HIPPO principle rules, HIPPO principle, uh, highest paid person's opinion. Simple. So whoever is highest paid gets to make the decisions. That's it. If that is the scenario that you are in, then there will be little that you will be able to change. And the best thing that you can change is actually a company, not anything else. Um, but for all other scenarios, make sure that you're validating as much as possible. Okay. Just because somebody said something, don't assume that they know everything. Find out where was the evidence for the idea, for the solutions, for the suggestions they're coming up with. Okay. Rule number two, always consistently look at the impact versus benefit. So whether it is worth investing in a product or the different iterations of product by creating strong business cases. The more you talk about in terms of business, in terms of metrics, in terms of numbers, um, the better it will be. The business stakeholders will understand that you're thinking in terms of business, you're thinking in terms of top line, bottom line, or whatever is the important number that they're chasing, and they'll be able to understand and be more confident that you are working, you're on their side. Okay. And rule number three, create timelines. Okay. And communicate them frequently. It's important to create this effective timeline based roadmap to communicate your product. Reason being that business stakeholders typically or executives work better with timelines. They want to understand when are they going to get their this new and shiny product, so that they can start thinking of how to sell it as soon as possible. So to conclude, working with designers, working with executives, working with engineers effectively boils down to the same thing. You need to make sure that the entire team is coming together. You need to make sure that you're communicating very effectively and frequently with all the stakeholders in the language, in the jargons that they understand. You need to make sure that you are seen as a leader. It's important that you are seen as a subject matter expert and domain expert, and it's also important that you are seen as somebody who can gel together and can result into a final product. And for this, all you need is a lot of patience, a calm head, solid logical footing, and most importantly, a grip on your communication. You do all these three or four things, and you'll be loved, liked, and you'll be able to influence most of the people around you. I said most, not all. All the best. That's all for now. Thank you.